And now on Yorkshire, it's time once again for the James Whale Radio Show.
How did you actually start the diet? I mean, something went click inside your head and you just did it?
I thought, I'm going to go for it. It's hard though, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I just find it just impossible. You know, there's sometimes you wake up and you're just desperate for chocolate hobnobs.
But you ever had nibble? You know, when you wake up in the morning?
Hello and welcome to the Nina Myskow Radio Show. I'm sitting in for James Whale tonight, and I can promise you there's going to be no boring bearded Burke spouting off at you, nor will there be ageing bimbos whose bra size is larger than their IQ. And I also promise you I am not going to be taking any calls about James because I am bored rigid with the thought of him. I'm sitting here with Krista Ackroyd, who in his real life is his proper boss. She's the programme controller of Radio Air. Krista, pink champagne to you. What's it like? I mean, I know what it's like to be a woman on top, but what's it like to be a woman on top of James Whale, for heaven's sake?
Absolutely horrendous thought, Nina. Well, look, at the end of the day, I mean, he is a radio DJ. As you say, I am his proper boss, and it doesn't really matter what he thinks, does it? It's whether he sort of plays my game.
Well, quite right, too. I mean, women, you know, have the control and they can work things out.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether he quite enjoys that for most of his working life, but it's his problem, really, not mine.
Has he ever shown signs of anarchy before?
He's not easy. He's not easy.
No?
He's not easy, no.
No. And how do you deal with this kind of terrible sexist attitude he's got?
I sign the cheques at the end of the month, Nina.
So you crack the whip?
If he wants me to sign, he's not particularly sexist to me, no.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear about it. So you're just going to go on, carry on running the station your way?
Radio Air's 24 hours a day. James is one presenter.
Quite right, too.
You know.
Anyway, this is the last thing you're going to see of James Whale tonight, because, frankly, that's what I think of him. We're going to have something more conservative. Peter Gabriel. My boy Peter Gabriel and Uso Endor, Shaking the Tree. If you want to call me, it's 0532 46 1000. I'm joined here in the studio by Helen, Lederer, Stephanie Kalman. Welcome. We're going to get pissed tonight.
Cheers. Cheers, Nina.
Cheers.
It's very exciting to be here.
Oh, you look thrilled. I can see you look thrilled. I mean...
I am thrilled, aren't we?
Good. Utterly.
Yeah.
Good. Now, what I want to say to you is we're talking tonight about personal appearance and the way women are pushed into stereotypical roles, and where is the equivalent of Robin Day? Do women always have to be very sexy? I mean, what I want to know is, would the female equivalent of James Whale be allowed on the box?
Is there a male equivalent of James Whale?
Yes. I mean,
Yes, good point.
seriously. I mean, seriously, this is the case.
Yes, because we needed to know what he looked like, didn't we? 'Cause
We
we're a
did.
bit
A
unfamiliar.
bit of a briefing one, and I thought I didn't know John Peel had had plastic surgery.
And also, exactly, and there's also a bit of a problem with his accessories there. I think he tries very hard with joke glasses.
I know, it's sad, isn't it? Well, there he goes. And I mean, I'm going to passing this round about you. Would you like a bit of the old pink
it's
pig?
edible. I wonder
oh,
what
yes,
it
no,
was.
it's marzipan. It's marzipan. Do you have a bit of marzipan?
Oh, thank you.
I
It
think we
looks
can-
like
we
you've
can
taken off one of his...
No, don't say it.
Now, don't talk about dangly
Plastic
bits.
surgery on the dangly
Not
bits.
dangly
I
bits
wouldn't
so
have said
early.
that. I'm certainly not going to eat it now. Anyway,
No.
there we are.
It's disgusting, isn't it? Seriously, do you think that women do have a problem on television? You know, the way they are. I mean, people are saying things like, Anna Ford's looking a bit old these days. Maybe seen Alistair Burnett recently?
Well, he likes his red wine. I don't know. That could be libel.
Could that be libelous? I sincerely hope it
What
is.
do you think? Do you think?
Well, I
there's a-
just wonder why it seems rather strange that there are so many women producers in television now. But
Excuse me, I've been caught with a glass of wine and pink champagne. Ignore that, go on. Yeah,
But they're still following the same old rules about making women look, if anything, not just pretty, but they have to be terribly bland. There's a sort of breakfast TV look, which is a kind of, hello, I'm a blonde.
With the
I'm
jumper.
not threatening.
Yes,
And I think, you know, the hell
but
with
you
that,
see,
I'm not
we've all
threatening.
tried very hard tonight. I've got tons of makeup on. I had the facial yesterday. I'm worried about my shoulder pads slipping. You know, I feel terrible. But, you know, but I have to go on. This is the best we can look tonight. Isn't it?
Well, at least you did get your shoulder pads
Yeah,
fixed,
exactly.
which is the main
But
thing,
I
Nina.
have to say, some people will actually go further. You know why? They will go as far as the knife. And I actually visited the National Hospital for Aesthetic Plastic Surgery in Bromsgrove to see what happens there.
Nina's in the pink.
They're obviously expecting me. Hello.
Hello. Nina, the consultant will see you now.
Thank you very much. Paul, I know I'm supposed to ask you all sorts of questions first of all, but I can't because I'm sitting here totally in a state, because the fact that your eyes are looking at my face makes me have a complete twitch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Faces are very interesting things, you know, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't look at them and analyse them and know how they fit together, so, but apologies.
Yes,
I'll
no,
try
but you're a
not to.
professional plastic surgeon. Does this happen to you all the time at parties and things, when people know you are?
It does, actually. I don't look at them all the time, but obviously if somebody's coming in asking for advice, I like to have a look, a preview of what the problems may be.
But people come up to you at parties and go, what about this bit here, what about this bit here?
Oh, yes, certainly.
It must be really, really dull.
No, not at all.
No. As a plastic surgeon, what sort of patients do you see here? Is it mostly women?
Here, or in general?
In general, then, and here.
Well, there's lots of... Plastic surgery is a wonderful specialty. It's so varied. It varies from the emergency cases, the burns and the trauma, the skin cancers, the other urgent cases, and then the less urgent reconstructive work, the patients that have had some area of skin removed for whatever reason and has to be rebuilt as well as possible. And of course the least urgent cases, as far as the categories are concerned, are patients who don't like a feature of their appearance which we're able to alter.
Which is cosmetic surgery?
Which is cosmetic.
And what's the most popular operation?
Nose correction overall. People that don't like
The
the shape
beaks
of their
going.
nose. Well, it's usually a large bump, often on a lady's nose. A lady may feel that she's inherited father's nose and would like a more ladylike one. That's the commonest request.
And what about men? What proportion of men to women?
Men with noses are about equal, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course the commonest ladies' request is for breast enlargement surgery.
Oh, still in this day and age, the old page 3 mentality?
To some extent, But it's rarely to be very, very big. It's usually to be just normal. And the vast majority of patients seeking cosmetic surgery aren't saying, make me more beautiful. They're saying, can you make me average and normal?
But how do you define normality? What's normal? I mean, I think I'm normal. Well, everybody knows I'm not normal, but,
right.
You know, how do people define it?
Well, everybody's normal, and no matter what their appearance should be, they should still feel self-confident and able to go out into the world. But that's not the facts of the matter, because people make insensitive remarks to sensitive people. And a favourite uncle may say to a girl, oh, I see you're growing up with a nice big nose, and that will stick with her forevermore. And father may say, oh dear, you're not going to develop any breasts, are you? And that young girl will have that seared into her memory forevermore, which is very, very sad. Now, people with burns on their face should be able to go out and not be stared at in public, but it's not the case, and I think that the vast majority of people just want to be normal, not have a feature that they feel stands out from their normality otherwise.
Yeah, so what happens to the average patient who comes to consult? I mean, what should they be asking?
Well, they should appreciate that the surgeon is sympathetic with them. I mean, if he's not sympathetic, then he shouldn't be doing the sort of work. So the surgeon isn't going to be saying, you're being vain, you're being flippant, and you know this is a lot of nonsense. He's going to be saying, right, you're saying to me, perhaps your nose is too big and people are looking at your nose instead of you, or your ears stick out and you keep watching people looking at the ears and you don't want them to. You want to take notice of you as a person. The surgeon's sympathetic with that and then should be able to say, well, if you are in or outside of the normal range, identify the defect as the patient sees it, and then say what can be done surgically to correct it.
Yes, but how does a patient find the right surgeon? Because this is the problem these days, isn't it? Because there are lots of people advertised and there are a lot of charlatans that have been sort of exposed in the past, and often accidents happen.
Well,
However careful people are.
Well, it's not like a beauty clinic. I mean, people are actually being cut and they bleed under surgery, so the patients ought to take it very, very seriously and do some research. Now, one of the best ways, I think, is recommendation, either from somebody else who's had the surgery, from a general practitioner, of course, who knows the patient and knows what their other problems are, and then will be able to recommend somebody to try it. And if you're not happy with that particular consultation, then try again.
I mean, we read lots of horror stories in the paper. Do you often have to clean up other people's mistakes?
I think true mistakes are rare. I think true mistakes are where surgeons may have tackled something that they weren't really capable of doing, and this can happen. It's not common. It's not common. Much more commonly, there are the normal complications that can occur with any operation, and they can be more severe or less severe accordingly.
What sort of percentage of these do you see, of the cases that you see here?
Well, the fact of the matter is we see about 20% of the patients who have had surgery elsewhere and aren't really very pleased with the result or want another opinion on the result.
As high as that. That's 1 in 5. That's 1 in every 5 people who go in aren't happy when they come out. That's an extraordinary percentage, isn't it? Mm. So a fifth of the people, 1 in every 5 that goes in, is going to come out unhappy.
They may do, or they may again be undermined by somebody who says, well, you know, that nose isn't quite right, and they come along for a second opinion and in fact can be reassured quite often that it is satisfactory.
But have you ever seen something where you've actually thought, my God, that was a criminal thing to do to somebody? And please spare me the details, because I mean I faint at the thought of blood or anything, so just don't go into any gory details. But have you ever seen situation patients like that where you've really thought this should not have happened?
Yes, I have. Mm.
Nina's in the pink.
When you're talking about the actual bleeding and swelling and all that, sounds revolting. How much does it actually hurt? I mean, you can't have a facelift without it being painful, or...
It's painful, yes.
Painful.
The pain tends to ease off. It depends what type of procedure is used, but the pain tends to ease off within 24, 48 hours. But it is uncomfortable.
But then you get numbness afterwards, depending on the operation. That can last for months.
That usually lasts for months.
For months? Mm. And people are prepared to go through all of that? Mm.
Well, surgery is always a balance of the risks and the dangers and the inconvenience as opposed to the benefits you get. Mm. And if you feel that that's a very significant benefit, which the properly counselled patient will appreciate the true result that they're likely to get, then the risks and inconvenience are worthwhile.
What about that old liposuction thing? I mean, it's a really disgusting. It's also hoovering out of their thighs and everything. That's horrible.
Well, it's a very interesting technique. It was a French invention, and ladies sometimes have deposits of fat.
So is that cellulite? So cellulite actually exists? You admit that cellulite exists? I can look down, I can see it. I know it exists.
It does. It does. I think ladies get it because that's their fat reserves for feeding babies in the desert when the food runs out. I mean, that's what it's there for. And they could actually starve to death, and those fatty deposits would still be there.
You can't just hoover away 16 stone. You've got to be a reasonable weight before you can actually even attempt this.
Absolutely. It's not a substitute for dieting.
Is there anybody who's ever come to you after the operation and not been happy and said, make me back to the way give me Concord Hooter back again. I was happier the way I was.
It occasionally happens, actually.
Why?
Yeah, it occasionally happens. I'm not sure. It's a very interesting phenomenon. I have seen 1 or 2 ladies that have had their noses reduced a long time ago, usually, and they say, well, on balance, I wouldn't mind my old nose back again. Now, that may be because they've forgotten what their old nose was really like, and they wouldn't like it. But it's a phenomenon not common.
How long does a facelift last? I mean, is it just...
Well, that's very variable. Mm. Obviously depends on the individual, their features, how big the facelift was, and so on. So you can't put a definite age. What it does is wind the clock back. As one lady said to me, can you wind my Speedo back, please, which I thought was rather nice. It winds the clock back. Supposing it winds it back 5 years, the clock will continue to run. So in 5 years, in theory, you're back to where you are.
Is there anything about yourself that you'd like to change? Is there any feature you'd like to change?
Yes, there is. My nose has got a nice retroussé curve, ladylike curve to it. Right? I would rather have a straighter nose.
Actually, it's okay now, Shucks. Can you just roll it? Because I want to ask him something. Just privately, all right? Okay. Look, do you see this round here? The bits here. What do you think?
Well, you're starting to show early signs with the eyelids.
Ah! Oh, God, how depressing. Actually, I've never met a plastic surgeon before. Well, except for my bank manager. He removed all my plastic with one blow, I have to tell you. Anyway, sorry. Have a look at this. Have a look at that. Before and after. That belongs to Chris Terry. That was Chris Terry's old nose, and that's her new nose. And here's the new nose now. Chris, you were the administrator at the hospital I visited. I can actually see why you had the nose job done.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because it was very depressing for you, wasn't it?
It was really.
And you went through life unhappy until it happened.
I mean, it didn't obsess me to the point where I wouldn't go out of the house, but I certainly wasn't happy with the nose.
Mm. It's a beautiful nose now. But then you didn't stop there. I mean,
No.
What's happened since?
Well, I had a breast enlargement. After I had my 2 children, I was feeling a little bit deflated.
Yes.
So I had a little bit done there.
Yes.
And I've had the eye bags done and the eyelids as well.
Well, I must say I can't see any signs of it. I can't see the joins.
No, it's very good.
But are you sort of aware? I mean, does it feel tighter or?
No, I just got a little bit fed up with people telling me that I look very tired all the time. When you've had a whole day of that, you feel ghastly by the end of it.
Yeah. But I mean, but it was worth it to go through all this kind of the pain and the bleeding and all the...
To be honest, the breast augmentation is uncomfortable, but the nose and the eyes didn't hurt at all.
Not at all? Oh, come on.
No.
Come on, I go to the dentist and that hurts. That must hurt.
Not at all. The majority of people that have had their noses done will be the first to admit that they are amazed how little it hurts. The most you get is a headache, and it's a little bit uncomfortable because it feels like you have a terrible cold. But other than that, it's not painful.
Yes. Now, how much does all this run to? Because it's not cheap, is it?
No.
How much, for instance, for the average, boob inflation, as it were?
You're talking about sort of 2,000 to 2,200.
1,000 each, yes.
Yeah.
Really. And what about deflation? I mean, because that's the reduction.
That's a bigger operation and completely different to breast augmentation, and then you'd be talking about 2,500.
You're talking all about, it's all, got to be brave and rich.
No, not really. The majority of our patients don't happen to be rich, glamorous film stars. A few of them are, but the majority of them are very, very ordinary working-class people.
They find it's worth it.
Yes, very much.
They find it's worth it, yes. And you really don't regret it at all?
No, not
at all. What are you going to do next?
I think the thigh.
Oh, God, the old hoovering.
And a little bit here.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. I think now we'll go to some calls, and if you want to call me, it's on 0532 46 1000, and you can fax me here on 0532. If there are any boys out there not too pissed to fax us tonight, we're on 42 18 30. Let's have the first call.
Hi, Nina.
Hello, who's that?
It's Maggie from London.
Hello, Maggie.
Firstly, I'd like to say good luck for tonight.
Oh, God, I need it. Yes, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I also think that Yorkshire have made a wise decision in putting you in Whaley's place.
God, the fiver worked, Maggie, didn't it?
It's amazing, isn't it? Because, getting back to what you were saying earlier, yes, you are a female equivalent of James Well.
Oh, I don't know if I... no. Oh, now, this is supposed to be a nice call, wasn't it?
It is a nice call. That's not insulting.
Really?
Because, seriously, like Whaley, you pull no punches.
Oh, well, that's all right.
You say what you think.
OK, that's OK.
So, therefore, in that aspect, for a female, you do an awful lot for television. If only there were more like you.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't cope with this flashy. That's enough of that. Next call, please. Thank you all the same. Hello?
Hello.
Who's that?
Tim from Birmingham.
Hello. What do you want to say to me?
It's about Whaley, really. It's got to be, isn't it?
Oh, no, I told you, no calls about Whaley. Piss off. Next.
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
Yes, I'm Pauline from Northampton.
Hello, Pauline.
It's about my my right nostril, actually.
Well, which one is it? Is it the left or the right?
No, the right.
The right nostril.
It sort of hangs, and I feel very sort of uncomfortable. I only feel comfortable when people talk to me from the left.
But has it been the condition all your life, has it?
As long as I can remember.
But I mean, it's not an accident or something that's happened to you that's made it like this?
Well, no. I mean, sometimes I sit in the chair for hours pulling it down, but nothing happens.
I think you're taking the piss. Next. Hello?
I'm Dave from Canby.
Yes, hello?
It ain't right fair for the birds on the box at the moment, is it?
No, go ahead, why?
It's easy for a bloke to get a job, because Whaley's another big fat spud, isn't he?
Well, you go ahead.
There's a lot of unattractive birds on the box, but a lot of attractive ones, like yourself, of course. But they want to put a few birds who are not so attractive on the box, so it gives them a chance to makes them look
like normal people. I agree. I mean, the fact of the matter is we've all had to try very hard to get to this reasonable state of appearance tonight. And in fact, men just sort of turn up, and that's it. They got this suit on and they just go on. That's it. It's very boring, really, I think. But I think this conversation's boring too. Next.
Hello?
Do you want to chat to Stephanie? Who's talking?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, my name's Carl, and there have been many rumours been surrounding about cosmetic surgery bringing on some skin disorders. I've looked at Michael Jackson recently and I've seen this. It looks as if his face is on his throat.
Well, I have to tell you, one of the questions I asked the plastic surgeon was, is Michael Jackson melting? And apparently he's not. So we're all thrilled to hear that.
It looks like it.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. Stephanie, is there anything that you would have changed about yourself? Would you actually undergo the knife and all of that?
No, I mean, I'm far too much of a coward, and I'm not rich or brave. What I have done is I've had my shoulder pads taken in. I've had the tucks in the pads, and like you, I've had some reductions in my bank account, which is quite painful enough.
Actually. Yes, that's good, I think. But you know, this whole business. Do you approve of this whole thing of women going to these extreme lengths?
No, but I don't particularly. I mean, I can understand it if you've got something you're not happy with, like Chris had. I just wonder what women are doing it for, because I think men don't. I took a sort of little survey once of what men thought about women's appearances, and they said, well, the one thing they complain about is women going on and saying, look at me, aren't I awful, which is like, in a way, a kind of show-off. You know, isn't it terrible? Look at my thighs, aren't they huge? And I think men are just inclined to say, well, you are, I like you the way you are.
But shouldn't men take more care of their own appearance? I mean, you get these great big fat slobs with, the plumber's bum, with the jeans hanging.
Well, exactly.
And going, whoa, she's an old dog.
Whoever referred to the English pear-shaped figure obviously wasn't talking about the women. I mean,
exactly.
That's obviously true. I think they should.
Yes, but I mean, the whole plastic. So, don't you think it's a kind of a really, it's an arrogant, vain?
I think it can be a status symbol. I mean, the last lot of interviews that Shirley Conran did, they were sort of 10% about the book and 90% about her chin. And it's like she was saying, look at me, I'm a best-selling author, I've got 2 homes in Monte Carlo and a new chin. You go, well, lovely for you, Shirley, but I couldn't see the difference between that and the old one.
What? Not the old chin at all.
Well, I've got 2 chins, but I've got. I wish your cameramen weren't kneeling on the floor.
No, exactly.
All the chins.
Anyway, now we're going to go to the Dicky Bards, Mandy and Jane.
What's the matter?
It's Dave. He's found someone else.
Well, the rotten git. What happened?
Well, we had this thing about Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
Well, I did everything. I grew my hair long, dyed it blonde like hers, did all the exercises. I even went on a strict diet.
No chips?
No, nothing. I mean, you know me. I can't walk past a Pizza Hut without screaming, large deep pan pepperoni with extra garlic bread and drooling.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, though.
What?
You seem to have more of a pout these days.
Do you think so?
You haven't been having them collagen injections for luscious lips, have you?
No, I smack myself in the gob, it's cheap. Kim Basinger does it all the time.
So, who's Dave seeing now?
A right little bimbo. Dumb blonde's not in it.
Page 3 type.
Well, no, they'd never get her all on one page with her hips.
Childbearing.
Put it this way. She could give birth to the Beverly Sisters without wincing. Anyway, how's your love life?
On hold at the moment. I'm having liposuction on my cellulite.
Oh, dear.
I'm determined to be 36, 24, 36 again.
Since when were they your measurements?
When I was 11.
I'm thinking of having a retroussé nose.
What the hell's one of them?
Oh, upturned and petite.
As opposed to the Cyrano de Bergerac, you mean?
Well, you little bitch. You're not far off Concord coming into land yourself,
Mind you, it's all in a good cause, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I mean, we've got to be as near perfection as damn it to attract the male of the species, as it were.
Bless her.
Yeah.
With the spotty backs.
Zits amongst the bristles.
Bald heads.
Side bellies.
Beards.
Knobbly knees.
Hairy bums.
Yes. Them other bits.
I mean, it makes all the effort seem worthwhile, doesn't it?
Mandy and Jane, who survived opportunity knocks and meeting Bob Monkhouse, they had to have a good hose down after that, I can tell you. Anyway, we'll be taking more calls after this break.
No, stop, no. It's not Myskow, darlings. It's Myskow. Myskow. OK, everybody take 5. Try again after the break. Need a Myskow. No, stop. No, that isn't what I meant at all.
Well, dear heart, you said cough, so I coughed.
Welcome back. We're talking about plastic surgery, personal appearance, the way women are portrayed in stereotypical roles. If you want to join in, call me on 0532 46 1000. If you want to fax me, it's 0532 42 1830. Are there any faxes yet? To the amateur bag lady from Nigel. Nigel, I love you dearly. Just don't call me at the office. Okay? There's some more here. Right. Helen, please read out this fax. As James Walkout-Well didn't read our last one. Well, I can see why. It's so long, it's so boring. I think we'll talk to a woman instead. I mean, that's really boring stuff. Helen.
Oh, I'm a woman.
You're a token woman, yes.
Lovely.
Have you found in television that it's actually really difficult sometimes to get on and, unless you actually look like
Well,
yourself?
I haven't got that challenge because I don't, so I never try and be something I'm not. So it isn't really a problem, Nina.
But do you find... you've gone into comedy. I mean, the Naked video, you're probably best known for. You're about to do another series of that.
Somebody made a rather witty jape about Naked Video earlier, and I can't remember, it was so funny. They said they were going to watch another one any minute, which is the kind of mentality that surrounds some of the James Whale kind of entourage, which we're not discussing anymore, because it's sexist and rather boring. But what was your question?
I've forgotten now.
Sorry.
I think it's a bit... Have some more champagne. Give this woman some more champagne.
No,
Can you
but
give this woman some more champagne,
Nina,
please?
I'll help you out here. So you're saying, is it difficult to be on television if you don't have 34, 21, 36, whatever the mean average is nowadays? And I'm saying, yes, it is. But the rainfall. Yes, the rainfall, as Stephanie rightly says. But I think that the important thing is that people are sort of growing up and there is more kind of like range, and it's very boring to look normal. It's very because it's not boring to look normal, but I think one is what one is, and if you're happy to have a change in the nose, then fine. I would feel rather self-conscious if I change things and just be yourself.
Yes, but don't you think it's awful that there isn't a woman equivalent of Sir Robin Day, for instance?
I don't feel it's awful. We had a bit of a competition earlier on, didn't we, girls, about if we were paid £1,000, say if, the torture, and we had to go into men with Robin Day.
Had to what?
With him. The nostril problem resurging itself, but we decided, didn't we, that the conversation might be better because at least you've got stimulating conversation.
Exactly.
And that's important.
Yes, there we are.
Mind over matter, exactly.
what was the kind of thing? Would you rather go to bed with James Whale, Robin Day, or who was the third idiot?
Jonathan Ross, I think.
You said Paul Daniels was low on your list.
He's the bottom of the list in my family. There is no one there but underneath.
No. Well, he's fairly short, isn't he, as well?
So it's just whimsy, really. I mean, I don't think we need this. We don't need these challenges. We're okay when we're on our own with our champagne. We don't have to worry about the fact that we don't look that conventional. Who does? And if they do look conventional, they're odd. Frankly.
But I mean, we've all tried very hard. I mean, I've got my frivolous shoes on.
You have. They're very pretty.
I know, and you've got your boots on.
I know, because I'm making a statement. Somebody's got to.
What's your statement?
My statement is that I don't mind walking in a certain way, because if I wear high heels, I have to change them the way I walk.
Oh, right. Well, OK. We're talking about looks, and we're probably going to one of the ugliest men in the universe. It's Malcolm McLaren, Waltz Darling.
Darling. Waltz with me.
Malcolm McLaren, Waltz Darling. Are there any more faxes, I wonder? If you want to fax me, I'm on 0532 42 1830. Actually, trying to learn these numbers, I realise why Whaley remembers the last number. 42 1830 is his perfect woman. 42 1830. That's we got him there. Anyway, here we go. Dear Nina, keep up the good work. The show is great. If you read this message, I would appreciate. The guys at BLD will watch your show. If you read my note, I may win some dough. On behalf of everybody at BL Distribution in Slough, for heaven's sake. Nina Myskow, some fan mail to help you along. Don't call me at the office. I keep saying this. There's another one here. Somewhere. It says... No. I think, dear Nina, who was James Whale anyway? Colin of Peterhead. I don't know who was James Whale. Right, we'll take some calls. Hello, are you there? Dean of Worcester.
Hello.
Hello, Dean.
Hello. I'd just like to ask, if your toy boy said you were getting a bit tatty around the edges, would you consider plastic surgery?
I'd probably chop his head off, yes.
Oh. That's very nice.
No, I mean...
You normally do that?
Yes, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, if that's his problem, if he can't cope with that.
Well, I think you still look nice anyway.
Thank you very much.
And could I just say hello to Mark and Charles who are getting pissed in the living room?
No, you can't. Next. Hello?
Hello?
Who's that?
It's Brendan in High Wycombe.
Brendan in High Wycombe.
Hello, Nina, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine. I wanted to actually ask your surgeon a question tonight. It's a bit of a personal problem, but I wanted to know about my testicles.
Next! A load of balls. Next!
Hi.
Hello, who's that?
Hi, it's Jenny from Cambridge.
Hello, Jenny.
Hi. I'd like to ask if you have
Hi.
James Wales.
You sound as if you are, but
yeah,
go on anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know if you have James Wales as a toy boy because you're so much older, you know?
If I what as a toy? What?
If you have James Wales as a toy boy because
James
you're that
Wales?
much older.
My...
Can I say hello as well?
Next!
Robin!
You'll never know. Next. Hello, who's there?
It's Nigel from Colchester.
Nigel from Colchester. Hello, Nigel.
Hello. I was just wondering what you would think of the woman of the 80s or 90s should be. Because I actually, a lot of women actually think that it's some sharp-dressed woman who drives a Porsche all day, and I actually don't think, I think a lot of women would rather be classed as bimbos and kind of that stuff.
You're not very articulate, are you? You're having a bit of a problem speaking. Have you been...
an operation on the brain.
I know. Have you been to the pub this evening?
Dope's great. I'd advise it to anyone.
Blimey, well, that's your problem. There we go. Next!
Hello, Nina.
Who's that?
Sharon from London.
Hello, Sharon.
Hello, I'd just like to say that I had cosmetic surgery done a couple of weeks ago, and as a result I've got all red blotches on my face and blisters, and I'd just like to know, is it all worth it that women have to go through this?
Well, what surgery did you have?
I had my chin done and my nose done.
Why?
Because my nose was too big and my chin was too long.
Too big for what?
It was just too big, it was spread on my face.
Yeah. And how old are you?
I'm 20.
Right. And did you go to a private hospital, or was it done on the National Health Service?
It was done private.
Right. And how much did it cost you?
2,000.
2,000. That's a lot of money. Perhaps we should bring Chris in on this. I mean, is that...
Well, when she says she's got blotches on her face, I mean, what do you mean blotches on your face?
Sort of like blisters, you know, like burns, blisters.
Well, it sounds to me, from an unqualified point of view, that you've been allergic to the elastoplast or the plaster that's been put on your nose.
There we go. I'm sure.
Go see a surgeon.
Hopefully we'll improve. We'll take more calls after this break.
Stop. No, your timing's all out there, dears.
Well, it's a silly bloody name anyway.
Bloody temperamental. OK, Nina's jingle, take 4. Now, let's try and get it right this time, please. After 3. 1, 2...
Nina Myskow. The Nina Myskow Show.
At last.
Here, what about my money then?
What about mine? Welcome back. We're talking about plastic surgery, about the way women have to portray themselves on television. What worries me at this precise moment is that the champagne is getting paler and paler and less pink. Have you noticed this? The mean sods, they bought one bottle of pink and the rest is white, but here we go anyway. Do you find often, Chris, that people come back with problems and whinge about...
If the communication between the surgeon, the plastic surgeon, and the patient is correct, and it is important that the patient knows exactly what to expect. If a 50-year-old woman comes in for a facelift expecting to look 18 again, she's going to be very disappointed. But if she knows exactly what's going to happen to her, then they're generally not.
Right. Well, I wonder what people in the audience think. Lady in red. See, you shouldn't wear red, you see. You're drawing attention to yourself. What do you think? I mean, would you ever have plastic surgery? No, you're far too young to even think about it, but would you ever undergo something like that?
No, not at all. I think people should accept me as I am.
Quite right.
And also, I'd like to point out my personal campaign for body hair. I think it's really bad, like, you know...
What's the problem?
Well, like, the way people react to women having hairy legs and hairy armpits is just really out of order.
I know, but I'm sorry, but I know it's out of order, but there's kind of ambivalence here, because
Have you
actually...
noticed the people who reacted badly against it are women? The one time I went out in daylight without shaving my legs, there were 2 girls outside, look at her with the mohair tights on, and men don't mind.
Yes, but that's right, because...
There is a dichotomy, if I may just come in.
And what university did you go to,
Well,
darling?
I went to Polytechnic and I think they're probably superior in terms of... No, the point is that some people, as you say, some people have more hair than others. It's a bit of a taboo subject. Stephanie and myself in makeup were discussing the amount of facial hair that can happen. And I think it's cool. I think whatever you... I mean, if you want to take the hair off, then take the hair off. And if you want to leave the hair on, leave the hair on. I personally, I like to tidy people. I notice if people, I pointed out you had an eyelash earlier on your cheek, and I said, eyelash.
Take it away.
So I'm a tidier. But
Bit of
I
a
mean,
perfectionist,
but politically, I think you're right.
I'm sure you're right, but if you've got legs like mine, that when you cross your legs, it sounds like Velcro meshing, you actually are going to want to do something about it, aren't you? I mean, seriously. Well, you've got fairer hair than me, you see. Yeah, you see, so you're all right. So she's all right.
Yeah,
so
when they say, oh, hairy legs, I know what you mean. And then it's like 3 little things you can't even see.
Exactly.
And they say, get hair removal cream. And I say, I have to have it sprayed on. Hoses. I used up the entire economy tube on the test patch. You know, I mean, there's a big problem here, you know. It's been sanded. It's been sanded and sealed.
You have an abundance of hair on top, which some people would pay money for, because, of course, there's a problem with baldness. So, you know, you take away, you put back. You know, look at it in a balanced way.
Is there anybody here who actually would have plastic surgery, who would...
Yeah, me. I would.
Would you? And what would you have?
Well, as you can see, I'm a rather large person, so I've got a very big double chin here, so I'd rather like to get rid of that.
Have you thought about you might having your jaws wired together? I mean, seriously, I'm serious about. Look, I've dieted all my life. I've lost 2.5 stones since last summer, and it's hell.
Have you done it?
Oh, it's hell.
Please tell me.
Oh God, just have to stop eating and keep exercise. It's dreadful.
Stops you eating.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, shall we go to some calls now? Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Who's that?
This is Paul Petrillo from Devon.
Yes, hello.
And on the subject of cosmetic surgery, I'd like to know how you feel picking up a huge paycheck for doing nothing when millions of hard-working people are struggling to survive.
Well, Chris, this goes straight to you.
Well, I wish I did pick up huge paychecks. It's not a question of sort of millions struggling to survive. There is a lot of very, very good work goes on in plastic surgery. There are a lot of very disfigured children whose lives are made a little bit more bearable by plastic surgery. And plastic surgeons do a very, very good job. It's not just prettying up ordinary women like you and I. It's oh yes, it's a man. it's doing
well,
a
he
lot
could
of
become
very
a woman
good
if he
work.
wanted to. That's a bit of
This is true.
surgery. We haven't discussed it. Yeah.
What happens to poor people then who can't afford plastic surgery who are disfigured?
Well, does the National Health Service cope with them?
Yes, they
No,
do.
because the waiting lists are about 4 years long.
Well, then don't vote Conservative. That's your problem. Next.
Hello,
Mike.
Nina.
Is that Mike?
Yeah, it's Mike. Right, it appears to me, on the vanity angle,
Mm.
the problem that men have, speaking for myself and for various friends, is the size of their manhood. So, as part of a double-balanced
Oh,
question...
God, not another man whinging on about it. Next. Hello. Hello, Andrew.
Yeah, and I was wondering if you knew what Michael Jackson's favourite TV programme was.
What, Michael? Who cares? Next.
Hello.
Hello, is that Colin?
This is Colin from Hayes. Coming back to the point you made earlier on the sexual stereotyping, it appears that, to me, that a lot of women seem to not only go along with the stereotype, but to actively encourage it.
In what way?
A lot of women, possibly models, actresses, seem to think that the stereotype is a way of earning themselves money, and by doing that, possibly they're, in a way, the enemy of other women who wouldn't normally go along with that.
Yes, but if you have a brain of a peanut and sort of enormous boobs and it's the only way you can make a living, how can you, say that's wrong?
Yeah, but it does seem to do women in general a great disservice.
You're probably right, but, we can all live with that. We can all live with that. Don't you think? No, I think we can. Surely we can. Ah. The sound of music. It's that time already. That's that time already. Thank you very much, Stephanie, Helen, Chris, all the audience. And we've got this Clive Griffin up there. Tall chap, isn't he? What are you doing after?
Well, we haven't decided yet. What about yourself?
Well, we'll just discuss that later.
We'll get one of these to take home.
Lady, you've been around. I know you.
Well, tune in to the James Well radio show next Friday at the slightly earlier time of 1 o'clock.